Okay, James, do you want to kick us off?
Steve, does that feel like a big opportunity missed again against New Zealand?
Well, I think that to be put in a position where you're winning by the margin the team were at that point in time, then there's clearly an opportunity to win the game. And there's some pretty clear things why we didn't. Against a very good New Zealand team, we gave them a window to get back, and they took it.
Where did you see it going wrong then?
Well, I think we do, and it's important, and I recognise the question, it's important to understand also how much went right. This was, if you look at that New Zealand team, and you've got to credit them, 10 players for the World Cup final were playing there. They had more than 1,000 caps. They had more caps in their 15 than we had in our 23. But this England team, led by Jamie, I think really played smart rugby today. And unfortunately, yes, we didn't get the win we wanted. But I think everyone can see that this team is developed into being a very strong team.
Where did you see it going wrong just at the end in that final phase? And was there a lack of composure?
Excuse me, in the last phase, could you define what you mean?
From the scrum, 5 metres out.
I think there's a lot of experienced players on the pitch there, and they know what we're trying to do. We know what we're trying to do, and we get in a position to almost convert and didn't miss by too much. And I think if you look over the last period of time, the team in those drop goal situations has been pretty successful. We weren't today, but ultimately, as you look at this is the width of a post. I mean, that's the reality. This is the width of a post. The result goes one way or the other, and that's the nature of Test rugby. And when you've got two good teams, and they were two good teams today.
And what was your thinking behind changing your half-backs on 62 minutes?
Yeah, well, I think when you've got players of the calibre of those guys, and the guys that came on off the bench, you look at the threat that Harry Randall is and the experience that George Ford brings. And for large parts, ultimately, we were in a position to win that game. And so you got to always respect the opposition that are there. New Zealand are a quality side who've just played, since we last played together, have played 7 test matches and been together for 3 months. It's a different context to where we're at. Credit to them. We'll be better next week.
Jamie, how did you see that playing out? How disappointed not to get over the line again?
Yeah, of course we're disappointed. I think, like Steve has spoken about, we were in a position to win the game, and whenever you put yourself in positions like that and don't come away with a win, then of course you're going to be disappointed. I think, as I said, we certainly learned lessons from the summer and certain games that have been close in the past. And as Steve said, bounce to a ball, the kick goes slightly further left, and we're talking about a very different result.
And how did you see that final phase playing out with the scrum, the drop goal attempt? What wasn't quite right for you?
Well, I think we actually did exactly what we've spoken about. We're a team that covers a lot of detail, and we've spoken about being in that exact position. We've walked through being in that exact position, and we actually felt like we were in control of it. We kept attacking. That's the thing that we made sure that we focused on and learnt a bit from New Zealand in the summer, was that we probably stopped attacking a little bit, and we kept attacking them. And unfortunately, George didn't make the kick, but I tell you what, he hasn't missed many in his career, so we certainly can't blame him for that.
And finally, for me, the decision to go forward for the haka, how did that come about, and what was the reason for it?
It was something that we had spoken about, or I've been thinking about for a couple of weeks, really. I spoke with the senior players, I spoke with Steve. It wasn't a reaction to Joe. It was actually Joe. I had spoken to Joe about the possibility of doing it, and then he enjoys putting things on social media, so that was how that went. So I was very thankful for Joe for that. I told him that today. But no, look, I think we, as ever, in terms of a response to the haka, we always wanted to do it in a very respectful way. I thought the atmosphere was electric. New Zealand advancing as well. I think that just adds to the theatre, it adds to the spectacle, and I think everyone at the Allianz Stadium today massively enjoyed the atmosphere, and I think it added to what was an incredible atmosphere for 80 minutes.
Okay, we'll go Alfie, James Weil, and then we'll come to you, okay?
Steve, just on the kind of final 20 minutes, is there any part of it that you worry is becoming a kind of psychological hurdle for the team?
No.
Okay, and Jamie, in terms of another match at the start of a campaign, Six Nations or autumn, I know it hasn't always been the case, but England over recent years have often found themselves losing that first game. Does that halt momentum for you as a squad?
I don't know the exact facts, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. I know that we won, if you look at the last two campaigns that we had, the Six Nations, we beat Italy, we beat Japan in the first
Start of the World Cup in Argentina.
Yeah, so I think it's unfair probably to say that. I actually was very impressed with how aligned we were. As Steve alluded to, the All Blacks had played however many games together, and looking at those guys after the game, speaking to those guys after the game, they knew that they were in a very, very difficult test match, and I'm very proud of the way that we went about things today, our effort, our endeavour. But we've got to make sure that we learn and get better so that we start winning and getting on the right side of those close results.
Steve, things that went well and things that didn't go so well. The breakdown of the back five of the pack, absolutely immense job. I don't think you conceded a breakdown penalty to the 71st minute. Was there a real focus on getting much lower and really getting in under them compared to the summer? And how did you think Tom Curry went coming back to the side with so little rugby?
I thought Tom Curry played really well today. I think he's a world-class operator, and I think it's wonderful to have him back in our team as fit as he is. The contact area was without question a focus. We've seen that with New Zealand and how the level of competition they have. Same applies to Australia next week. Australia winning a lot of breakdown penalties, a lot of breakdown turnovers, and we need to make sure that our attacking contact area next week is even better than what it was today.
And just on the defence, obviously you've had a change of personnel in the defensive side. Two, if I may say, moments. Furbank biting in to double team on Satiti, which left Genji defending world-class winger. And then again, Genj on the short side with Jordan running through. Is there a little bit of finessing to do to get the right people in the right places, or is that just part of the game?
How many offloads have you seen like Satiti's? It's pretty good, wasn't it? Pretty good player. Pretty good players of the New Zealand team. I think you've got to be real respectful. That's a very, very good New Zealand team. It's really well coached. And I say, if you think look at how many games they played together, not just in the last period of playing a full rugby championship, played Fiji after they played us, the full rugby championship. Now they come here, they've had months together, and they've got good players. And so I'm really respectful of that. We played against a good team. He took that try really well. I thought the guys defended really well today. Nature of the game changed a bit. Obviously, we've seen law application being altered with the contestable kicks. You saw New Zealand. I don't think I've ever seen New Zealand kick that many contestable kicks in a game. So the nature of the game was very different. I thought the players beforehand were going to have to adapt to what was being applied, and I thought Jamie led them brilliantly to adapt to that.
Thank you.
Yep.
There we go. Hi, Steve. Despite the result, there was still a pretty good performances across the pitch as well. One that I wanted to get your thoughts on as well was Cunningham himself. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on how he did working with Benno and the back and Tom Curry as well.
Yep, I think Chandler's development over this last period of time has been excellent. I think he's a real determined player who's growing to be a real Test match player. This is a very young man who's had to change clubs, who's had to then develop and learn the system of a new club, and then how that operates. And he's in the same point in time. I've altered his position from he's played some six, but made mainly at 8, and now he's working at 6. And I think he's doing a tremendous job.
Fantastic. And Jamie, one for you as well. When you saw the try, when you saw it from Faye Waboso as well, it was a great carry from Marcus Smith across the whole pitch as well. how happy are you to have someone who's so bright and so energetic in the team on the wing, looking to kind of make his claim for international success?
Yeah, I think I couldn't be more impressed with Manny. I think not only do you see it in open space, but I thought he made a lot of tough carries tonight as well. The way that he was in the air with this, as Steve has alluded to, this change in the contestable law, some of his athleticism on show tonight was absolutely incredible. And I think we're very privileged to have a real wealth of quality players out wide. And I thought Tommy Freeman was excellent again tonight. So, that's a massive string to our bow. And I think the best thing about Manny, the best thing about Tommy, the best thing about all these guys in this team is that they're very humble guys. They want to get their head down, they want to learn, they want to work hard. And I just think, it's a hugely exciting time for those guys and for this team as a whole.
Is it too early to call Manny a wonder kid?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just go next to David Walsh here. Here we go, this chap. Yep, you want to see it? Here we go.
Sorry.
Got your questions? Okay.
My questions are both for you also. So.
Okay, no problem. Anyone else? Last one.
Go on then. Quick question for Jamie. So I know you obviously came close to beating New Zealand in the summer, and you've touched on Cunningham South and Faye Waboso there, and Steve mentioned how experienced that All Black side was out there today. Just how proud are you of your teammates despite losing today? And I suppose that progression of Cunningham South, who's, I thought if England won, he would probably been man of the match, and Faye Waboso, who was also incredible today.
Yeah, like I think there are a lot of names that you could put down there who did an incredible job. We spoke a lot about the set piece in the week, and the way that Will Stew and Ellis Genge came in and scrummed, I thought was fantastic. I'm really proud of the effort of the boys. I think the way that we apply ourselves, we try and play the game fast. We try and put teams under a huge amount of pressure with our set piece, and that's very physically demanding. It takes a lot of courage to go out there and perform the way that we do. And I couldn't be more proud of the way the guys did that. I think the challenge for us this week is going to be brushing ourselves off, learning as quickly as we can, and getting ourselves right for Australia. But the one thing that I know about this team is that we want to learn fast. We're keen as anything. The only thing that Steve, or most of the time, Steve is all he's having to do is pull us back in training, because everyone's just itching to get out there and want to get better. So it's a sign of a very, very good team, and it's exciting.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.